Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Davidson. Hey everyone, I'm Garrett Hallfish. This time of year is a fantastic time of year. You gotta give gifts to people, you gotta tell them you love them, but that also means you're gonna get a lot of gifts in return. And in these times, a lot of times that means cold hard cash. And you gotta know what to do with that cash. You could put it in the bank like some loser, but if you're gonna spend it, you gotta spend it right. So I'm gonna tell you some ways that you could use that money to your advantage to get the most out of that dollar. So right off the bat, if you have either an Xbox One or a PS4, Microsoft, Sony, you should definitely get the rewards program. That being Xbox Live Gold or just PS Plus. And there's reasons to get them already. One, you get them for the multiplayer so that you can play with your friends online. But with the added bonus, every single month for the year, you get not just one, not just two, but upwards of like 4 to 6 games free each month. And that's fantastic. Because you're only paying about the price of one game, but instead you're getting so many more. You're getting tons of games in the year. And sure, not all of them are great, but they're really not that bad usually. There's usually about half and half. It's like this month in PS Plus. You've got King's Quest, which is a really cool action-adventure game, which brings back the very old text-adventure based King's Quest and just revitalizes it with graphics and new gameplay and voice acting, and it really does a good job. It's really stylized, and it's just a joy to watch. And then you also have Gauntlet, which is not the best game, but one, it's a free game, two, it's one that you can play online with your friends, and if you love the N64 Gauntlet Legends, which was so much fun to play, then you're gonna at least enjoy this game because it has some of the same sound effects, and it's the kind of game that's just fun to play with friends. It's all about those stories that you build with each other. Now, holiday times also mean holiday sales, and the sales, they are aplenty. Now, you've got the pick of the lottery. You've got the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, you've got Steam for you PC users, and all of them across the board have some great sales. I know Sony, with every week, they're coming out with big sales. A lot of them you kind of ignore, but there's at least like a few games in there each week that you can enjoy. And that goes all the way up to January. I've already bought a few games for ridiculously cheap that I wanted to get, but I knew they'd eventually be on sale. Xbox, I'm not sure about theirs, but Steam, they just started their winter sale, and Steam is notorious for having incredible sales. You can get Witcher 3 for half off, which is an incredible price. You can get some other games up to like 85% off. Like Skyrim is only, I think, like $5 or $10. That's ridiculous. So if you're gonna spend money on a really good game already, why not make it a cheap one? Now, another great thing to do, if you want, this is an opportunity to save that money. And sure, you could save it for something righteous, but really, you want to save it for one of the upcoming games. And there are so many great upcoming games coming in just the first few months. Even just looking like as soon as March and April, you've got Uncharted 4, which not only does it look beautiful, but you already know the story is going to at least be a blast to play. You've got Troy Baker and Nolan North voice acting in this, so the voice acting is going to be splendid to your ears. And also, like, the fact that they unveiled that there's going to be some dialogue choices throughout it just to make it a more personable story. This is going to be a good one. And then you not only have that, but you have The Division, which I'm a little shaky about, but if it keeps its promise, it's going to be a fun multiplayer experience. You can play with your friends, you can play alone, but it's going to be a really cool, interesting new RPG that not a whole lot of people are doing stuff like that these days. And so that'll be a fun thing to play. And then, of course, you've got in April Dark Souls 3, which, oh wow, like, oh my god, the Souls series is fantastic. You've got Demon Souls, you've got Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and they're all fantastic. And then you have Bloodborne, which I'm gonna count as a Souls game, which is even incredible. And this game, Dark Souls 3, looks like it's learned a lot from Bloodborne, so you want to see what they bring to the table and what they will bring that'll keep you enticed for whatever they may have in the future. Now, an even better thing to do with your money, and the fact that a lot of you have vacation time, is to go back and think of those games that you may have missed, because so many games came out this year. So you may have been playing Fallout 4, you may have been playing Witcher 3, you may have been playing Bloodborne. And those are like the big names that everyone was talking about, so of course you were right on them. Metal Gear Solid as well. And that leaves out some of these other games that kind of get pushed aside. I mean, you've got Tomb Raider that just came out. Came out the same day as Fallout 4. What did people play? Fallout 4, of course. But this is the time where you can go back, you can play Tomb Raider, which is a great game. It's a beautiful game, and just have fun with it. And you don't have to worry about spending 100,000 hours on it. You can just spend 20, 30, 40 hours on it and be done, and then go back to Fallout 4. You've also got Life is Strange, which is one of those indie titles that a lot of people will talk about, but not a lot of people play. And so that's a story that you guys are probably gonna love. It just hits you right in the heart there. And that's something that shouldn't be missed. So please, go back, play it, enjoy it. It's just a wonder. And then you've got Soma, which is one that came out and then I feel like was immediately forgotten. I mean, people loved the company's first game, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and that was terrifying. I mean, sure, this isn't like quite the same style game. It's a little more on the puzzle exploration side than the horror side, but it's still like, they are an expert of their craft. They build a beautiful environment and a really enticing story, and why wouldn't you play that? I mean, those are the kind of things that you gotta be spending your money on. Now let's run through a quick scenario with you. So let's say your mom walks in and she hands you a gift that she's been waiting. It's like at the back of the tree. You'd been like amping this up. You knew it was there, but you didn't want to say anything, and you'd gone through all your other presents, and like, this is the one you've been waiting for. You know this is the game that you want. And so you rip it open, you're like, yeah, get out of here. And you open up, and it's like a frickin' baby game, Chicken Blaster. You don't want these games. So let me tell you what to do when you get a game like this, and you don't want to hurt your mom's feelings, because she's been working hard. She's been giving you kisses when you got the boo-boos. So what you do, you get your older brother or someone who can drive you. I mean, if you can drive, you go and drive yourself. You're a grown man. Drive yourself to the store, and most stores, if it's still wrapped up, you can return it. It might be in-store credit, but you can return it, and you'd be surprised how expensive some of these baby games are. So what you do with that money? You buy a man's game. You buy a game like Fallout 4 or Metal Gear Solid 5, a game that you want to play, age restricted, but that's what you do. You go have some fun, and then when your mom's like, oh, you like the game you got? And you're like, yeah, she's not gonna know. She sees the game on the screen, she doesn't know what you're playing. So go ahead and do it. So that's it for this week. I hope you all have had a wonderful holiday, and I hope that you use that money wisely and get some really fun games. Get your money's worth. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching us this week. Please follow us on Twitter. You can do so at NerdMuchCom. You can also find us on Facebook via the description below. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this week. See you next year. one last tidbit. This isn't a game, but this is what I'm spending my money on. You should all go experience Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight on glorious 70mm film. Because one, that's not gonna be something you can experience on a DVD. Two, the fact that if you see it in their roadshow version via their website, then you can, one, you'll get like an overture at the beginning, and there's a frickin' 12-minute intermission in between. It's over 3 hours. Like, that's an experience. That's the kind of movie you go see in a theater. Like, bing bam boom, you gotta go.